This is Gateway City Sports.
It's a trap!
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
This is the Team of Rivals podcast.
Everything you want to hear from the big sports to the big screen.
He's all by himself, fires into the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! No!
Vaughn into the windup and his first offering. Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
He doesn't like you. I don't like you either.
Time winding down, Michael for three. Yes! She is gone!
I don't believe what I just saw!
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! You believe in miracles? Yes!
You may fire when ready.
What?
I'm doing great. It's a great night. Former Cub Craig Kimbrell's pitching right now, if anyone's not watching the game. And ground ball, Stanton grounds out. Top of the eighth in the Field of Dreams game. Nope.
I don't really want to because I'm just trying to figure out why your sound's not on the live feed. But that's okay. Keep going. Yours isn't. Isn't that typical? Oh, no. I know what I did too. Hold on. Give me a chance to fix it. Is it still echoing in your ears? No? Oh, shit, I did not. That's exactly what I did. Hang on, folks. We've got it figured out. Damn, I'm glad you reminded me of that. I can't believe I forgot about it. I know. Whatever. I mean, yeah, just so you folks know, we're still learning here, man. It's a 6-year learning curve for this stuff, guys. I don't know why we're, so worried about this. Hang on, I'll get this fixed here in just a second. Yes, you're right, Pete. You're absolutely right. It is the mix minus, and it was on, and now it's off.
Nice. So now I can talk.
You can talk.
That's beautiful. I'm just going to tell you, those of you who can hear me now, you missed my best intro in 6 years.
Pete, do it again. Pete, do it again.
And we're not going to release it.
Do it again.
This
Ready?
one's going into the archives with episode 6.
Oh, shit. Don't worry. More people download this than watch it live anyway, so we're good.
Michael Walk will be a Cy Young. Not many people.
And I had a real great response to your opening because
Pete, do it again at the end. Do it again. Do it again at the end.
You know what? I'm pretty sure Trevor Bauer's not going to give to that charity.
Oh man,
he's got nothing against child. He doesn't have any particular brief for child abuse. It's just
abuse.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. We all know it's true, but I'm not going to say it. I'll give you the last part. I'll give you the last part of the introduction for those of you who were deprived of it live. Because, I mean, come on, let's admit it. It was pretty damn brilliant. Joining me for tonight's show. I mean, look, we've got permanent occasional guest host, Elliot Dewey. We have number 48 in the 2020 edition of the Top Cards on Twitter. But most importantly, the show interrupter is with us live.
That is right.
Braden Nuttall, how the hell are you doing? And there you go.
I'm doing great, but I think I already said that part. I don't think I was.
They could hear you. They couldn't hear them because I had
that's
little
true.
feature called a mix minus. Look, last week we did an audio only, which is much more relaxing for me. I actually have despised and really grown to loathe the live streaming. I don't want to do it anymore. But out of a little bit of guilt, because I know we've got some people that have been pretty authentic and they followed us for a very long time. They want to see this live thing. We had Sam Smitty on a couple weeks ago because you mean
like the zombie hunter who's watching us on Facebook right now?
Oh yeah, CJ's on. Yeah, CJ, we love him. And Greg is another regular on here. Smitty, Gino, several others. So out of guilt, I still do this live thing. But I tell you guys, I hate it. And what was it, 2 weeks ago, or it was a Sunday before, or Monday, whatever it was. We did an audio only. And guys, I can't tell you how so much more I love just doing audio, not setting up all this shit and making mistakes like I've continually made for like 6 years now, 5 years, however long I've been here. I would have been fired anywhere else. I cannot do this stuff on the fly. It really sucks, and I hate it. And anybody who's thinking about doing this, if you want to do it and have graphics and you want to have sound, don't do it. Don't do all the little services out there that make it seem easy. It just sucks. Do an audio only and do it well and focus on that. We've learned from our mistakes here, and we still do live streams. We shouldn't be. We shouldn't be. We should have given this up a long time ago.
Yeah, it's crazy because I watch a lot of like live streaming podcasts, and you really got to have somebody in the background doing all this stuff for you to make it authentic and seamless. Because if you don't, and you're trying to do it, I mean, you can tell. So, but
absolutely,
hey, we do what we can, right?
In fact, I would just like to just step in the background right now, not even be on this thing anymore. And Pete just disappeared off of this. So there again, another thing that we have to deal with around here. Yes, he's back. But
turned this camera off.
Okay, on purpose. Okay, so that was an on purpose mistake. We've done those before too, but more often than not, we do the by mistake. But yeah, Elliot, I would actually volunteer guys to step out of the microphone, away from the microphone, in the background. See, and I'll just produce this thing from now on in the background. We'll find another Cardinals fan to fill in for me, somebody with a much better voice, much better take, much clearer head on Thursday nights, because I am done by the end of the week. Thursday night is the beginning of my weekend.
I'm your guy. That sounds exactly like me.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Hey, better takes too. I think.
Did you see who stepped up right away? I mean, just no hesitation.
He'll definitely attract a younger demographic, but we won't get any more of the jarhead stories.
No, so and I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure our demographic, while they love him, I think they love you in small doses.
Yeah, but I'm talking about who he could attract instead.
Oh, well, maybe.
Pete, I'm kind of disappointed right now that you're drinking a Wisconsin beer after we just got our asses handed to us.
I think he's doing that for a reason.
Tell me a better Illinois beer that I should be drinking. And we didn't get our asses handed to us. The quadruple A
Iowa
Rockford Cubs got their asses handed to them. I mean, Rockford, that's about halfway between Des Moines and Chicago, right? Nah.
Well,
Dubuque.
Hey, I want to ask you guys this.
Ottawa, no.
I want to ask you guys this.
No,
Galena Cubs.
Quad Cities.
Yeah, this is riveting, guys.
It is. Fascinating.
I want to ask you guys.
So has baseball the last,
Well, for you, I can understand why it would be for you. And you know what? It hasn't been a cup of tea for me either. Thank God for the Pirates.
It's got to be more frustrating for you, man, because your team's trying.
Well, but your
team's trying.
But that's the thing. I mean, you look at what do you call that success from trying and just treading water in third place? Is it trying at all, or is it knowing what direction you're headed? And I have mixed feelings about, the Cubs are in. It's just a full tank mode right now, and you get why, right? Because you guys have just been saying it. You got a bunch of maybe some 4A mixed in with some AAA guys that probably wouldn't be up yet under other circumstances, and you're trying to get through the end of the year. And at the end of the year, you want to see some kind of silver lining with this teardown. That we've got some young people, we've got new people that have entered the organization via trade. Is there any light at the end of this tunnel? And on the other side of let me keep giving the Cubs organization some credit here, because at least they have made a decision. They made one, they made one in Jake Arrieta and cutting ties with him. And he was, from the era that the Cubs were very successful, he was one of the iconic faces of that team for a half decade, if not more. So,
and I tell you, sorry to interrupt, Ron, but actually that move today actually kind of runs counter to the idea that the Cubs are tanking, right? Because look, the Cubs are never going to catch the bottom four teams in baseball. The Pirates and the D-backs, they're so bad. The Cubs aren't going to get
It's hard to imagine a team plotting out a course to be worse than the Pirates.
Right,
it's
exactly.
really hard to actually be that bad. It's amazing.
But if they wanted to, if they were really tanking hard, then you keep Arrieta around, because he clearly is unplayable at this point. They may bring up Keegan Thompson in the next week or two, and he's probably going to offer you more serviceable starts than Jake Arrieta is. And you may actually get some wins with the rotation that the Cubs are going to have as these guys develop and adjust to major league players that you weren't going to get from Jake Arrieta, because he's finished.
I feel like you're trading somebody with a 7 ERA for somebody who's probably going to have a 5 ERA.
Well, but you don't know.
You don't know, and you want to start the development of some guys, right? You want to see. There is something to be said for, hey, let's see what we've got in some of these other folks. And in a year where the expectations at this point, literally, like within a few weeks, became very, very low, and you would think, right, that maybe the pressure is a little bit off these kids' shoulders. They're going to come up. The expectations are going to be lower. They're going to say, hey, let's come up here and see what you got. You're not going to be under a microscope. We want you to develop a little bit, get a taste of it, get used to it. I understand that, and that makes perfect sense, especially when you know you're not going anywhere this year.
And what you're paying attention to, you're not going to be paying attention to the numbers at the end of the year, right?
No,
so
you can't.
If Keegan Thompson ends up at the end of September with a 5 ERA, okay. But if he starts out in August with a 7, and he makes progress, and you see him adjusting to major league hitters, the way that you've seen Adbert Alzolay do this year, he's gotten better and better and better. You're taking that information, you're saying, okay, this is somebody that we can work with. There's something there. And you're doing that all over. And you're right, Ron. I think that this is one of the things, at least this is my feeling, Elliot. I don't know where you're at. This is one of the benefits of doing this, is that because you're not trying to tread water, you're not trying to pretend that you're competing, that you actually get to throw these guys in and you get to do an assessment of your system in a number of places, rather than bringing up 1 or 2 guys at a time and they get 10 games and then they go back down to Iowa because you have to bring in your veterans because you're trying to win.
Right.
And you know what? And I'll continue to give a little bit of credit here. Again, a decision, at least a direction was given, decision made, no mystery. You're not waiting around for them to make some kind of move in the offseason to be better for 2022. You kind of know what you're going to get over the next couple of years. The flip side of this, though, is that God, you really hope that this doesn't become the standard operating procedure for half the teams in the league, that they see a teardown, trade for prospects, lose for a few years, be able to draft high, and that's how you think you're going to win every, in a cycle. Like you don't want to see that happen. I don't think any of us want to see that happen permanently in baseball. But it'll be curious to see what Jed Hoyer does that maybe Theo didn't. Like once he's able to rebuild, and my thing with Theo was he built a brand new Lego set and he got bored with it. And he didn't have a new one coming or on the way. He didn't lay out the tracks for another Lego set to entertain him after that, so he moved on. And that's what he did. It's the same shit he did in Boston, really. And I'm curious to see how Jed Hoyer, is he gonna try to build a sustained model after this next rebuild? But what I don't want to see is teams continually try to do this. What the Pirates are doing right now, how bad they are, is just, it's mind-boggling. I mean, if they didn't have such a history and they weren't one of the longest tenured franchises, I'd say contract the shit out of somebody like Pittsburgh for losing this poorly and not blatantly not trying at all. I'm just amazed that there were even like 2,000 fans in the stands at a 12:30 game on Thursday afternoon, that there were that many. And there weren't that many guys. It was like there's more people that probably attend a popular AAA game tonight than what attended the Pirates game today. And it wasn't because the Cardinals in town, so don't be smartasses. It was because they're just shit, and you're not going to take a half day off work, and you're not going to spend money to watch that stuff. And that's the kind of I want to see it end. I just want to see it end. I want to see these guys that have no incentive to put any money into their team or have a plan. I just so badly want to see this shit gone from baseball.
I don't disagree, but I don't think that this is going to be common, because I think that it was a very unique set of circumstances that happened with the Cubs. You had all these players who were in their last year.
Sure, and they played within the rules. I'm not saying they did anything wrong. They played within the rules.
No. But what I'm saying is that I think this is unique, because you usually don't see teams' core players all have their contracts expiring in the same year. It's usually spaced out because you're bringing guys up a little bit at a time. But it just so happened that within a year, right, within 12 months, they had to make decisions on John Lester, Kyle Schwarber, Anthony Rizzo, Chris Bryant, Javi Baez. Like all of them came due within a year. And so they already made a decision on Lester and Schwarber. They let them walk. And then the other big three, look, if all you're going to get is a post-second round lottery pick as compensation for those three walking away because they won't sign extensions, then why not trade them and get 11 lottery picks? Because then maybe you can get one or two of those tickets to hit.
Nice work, Dad.
Did you just give him a bottle of vodka?
No.
He would have injected that halfway across the room. He doesn't even know what that smells like.
Speaking of the Pirates, the attendance to the game today was 8,676. And
basically, what was at the Field of Dreams?
Yes, I would not be surprised if there's more people at the Field of Dreams game right now.
I think that holds 10,000.
Good tickets still available in downtown Pittsburgh.
Oh, hell yeah. Any day of the week.
Speaking of the Field of Dreams game, so obviously David Ross let it slip.
Yes.
Apparently the Cubs are in next year.
Do you know who their opponent is? Because I didn't catch that part. Or it's
they haven't announced
the Cardinals.
Well, it's imagine. None of it's official.
Well, it's supposed to be the Cardinals and White Sox last year, I believe, but the Cardinals with their COVID, basically Major League Baseball said you're not doing it because you guys are gross.
The only thing that's official right now is that there will be a Field of Dreams game next year. Unofficially, the Cubs are in it.
Why would they choose the Cubs though when the Cubs are going into a rebuild? I think that's
because they're the Cubs.
That's
a shitty reason.
They're a major market team.
Yep.
And St. Louis is boring.
I'm sorry. I don't want to watch AAA. I don't want to watch a AAA team on a Field of Dreams game.
The rumor is it's going to be the Cardinals.
Well, that would be awesome.
That would be, okay.
Is that something we're going to try to attend and pay through the nose for?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Oh, I'd have to go too.
You know how difficult those tickets are going to be to get?
Yeah.
I don't care.
Okay.
It's going to happen.
All right, let's get back on. Let's get back on track. I do want to talk.
Is it 3 days?
No.
We will apply for media credentials on this one.
Oh man, we're not going to get them.
I'm still going to apply.
Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
well, might as well.
Fair enough. I want to get back on. I do want to come back to this game tonight because I think I agree with you what you said before we even went on live tonight, Pete. I think they've done it pretty well tonight. But let's get back here to your team a bit. Absolutely no effort or help in St. Louis's effort to even gain any ground on Milwaukee. Literally, like a 4-game set, just dumped. Screw you guys. That was piss poor effort. A complete tank. You're trying to hand it over to your North Siders there, North Siders. Like, what in the hell? You couldn't float us one game in this set. Not one. Nothing.
Of course not.
Why would we do anything for you?
I mean, the shit talking from the Brewers fans on one of my favorite Facebook groups, being NL Central Fight Club, is spectacular. The shit talking there has reached new levels. People I haven't heard from for years are all of a sudden back out because they're Brewers fans, and it is it's pretty insane. We know this is not going to last for Milwaukee. They just don't have. They don't have I don't think they have the infrastructure or fan base to keep this up. They got a very good team. I underestimated
and they've
them.
got a lot of money sunk into a player who now is having back issues. And
he's also having not being able to see the right field bullpen issues.
Yeah.
To tell him what pitch is coming. So
that too.
Yeah. So long term, I just like enjoy your run. And I've said this about Milwaukee, and I've been snake bit by it for like 10 years now, where I just never take them seriously. And all this, and this year, the Cardinals played so bad through June. They've helped build this massive cushion up. And I'm not saying the Cardinals belong in the hunt anyway. They definitely have they have their issues that we could spend a whole show talking about. I don't really want to do that. But they did sweep Pittsburgh, which I don't know that really means anything. I think that says more about the state of Pittsburgh than it does how the Cardinals played in this series. So does it make me did they sweep it? Yeah, sure, great. They almost coughed it up in the last game, but if you want me, I can just hear Mike Schultz in the next press conference. As soon as they drop the next game, is going to reference how they just swept the Pirates. And if I was a reporter, I'd say, well, fuck, who hasn't? Like, that doesn't say anything about you. It says how bad that franchise is.
Yep.
The good news is we got a series coming up against the
I forgot you were to my right. Sorry for the F word.
Okay, that does not matter at all.
Okay.
I live in a neighborhood of people who say it every 3 words. So,
guys, I just want to point something out.
Please do.
Apparently, there's somebody watching the show tonight. Do either of you guys know Adriana Valkoviak? I hope I pronounced her name
I think
right.
that's another member of the NL Central Fight Club, I do believe, and I think.
Okay, well, Adriana's our new best friend because she has in her bio that she's Chicago Cubs event operations at Wrigley Field. Adriana, Field of Dreams next year, hook your boys up. We're starting a hashtag right now.
Just load us into equipment bags.
Hashtag send TOR to the Field of Dreams.
Yeah, just load us into equipment bags. We'll just roll out of them.
That's right.
You've seen Ocean's 12, right?
You mean free hot dogs?
Yeah, we need it.
That's us.
Who's our
Ocean's 12?
What do they call it? The little guy who sneaks into the vault and he can contort himself.
Man.
Grease
he's
man.
A contortionist.
Yeah, we need a grease man. We need a grease man on the inside. That's what we need. B, how about you? You're the smallest of us.
They can. I'll fit into an equipment bag.
Roll out of equipment bag. Unlock the gate.
I don't know if I'd roll. I would just kind of like.
What do you say when they catch you? You're like, hey, do you play it cool and be like, hey man, where's the bathrooms? And they direct you back out to where the fans are supposed to go to the bathroom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in the corn. Right. Michael Hughes.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you do, right? Field of Dreams, it only makes sense. You just walk out to the core and they don't need bathrooms, do they?
No. Why would you?
Exactly.
Unless it's a Cub game and they go ahead and install their piss troughs out there between the rows of corn, which wouldn't surprise
Well, it's definitely more efficient.
That's right. That's how the Romans did it.
I believe I saw a row of porta potties tonight. So.
Oh, nice.
Nah, I don't think those were functional. That was just set dressing.
No.
Hey, little bit on the Cardinals' effort now. They've been a scary thing tonight. Braden, while I'm sitting here, can you look this up for me? The status of Dylan Carlson and his wrist. He got, I don't know if it was a hit by pitch or whatever. You were watching most of the game. I was trying to half-ass pay attention to a conference call today. But Dylan Carlson may be the latest Cardinal to be hit with the injury bug. However, the good news is on the front that they are getting Jack Flaherty back. I believe he's returning on Friday, followed by Miles Michaelis shortly after. But again, guys, an oblique injury is something you just don't know how well people are going to recover from. And I've seen Cardinal pitchers before get that injury, and it just takes them a very long time to recover from that. I mean, you think, a little stomach muscle, man, it's put him out for 2 months now. And we've seen what's happened to that team without having a stopper in there. And thank God we've signed that aging veteran, Adam Wainwright, to another year. All of them. It was just really amazing. And Kim, their youngest pitcher on the staff at age 33, he's on the IL again too. So I mean, it's just, you're rolling out. I mean, it literally is like your social calendar is nothing but funerals. It's just like, it's all it is. It's like when you're in your late 80s and all your friends are just going, and that's what it feels like the Cardinals roster has been like. They're all just flopping over. So thank God for the one that just refuses to die, and that is Adam Wainwright. And he threw a shutout against, again, it's Pittsburgh, so I take it for what it's worth. But at age 39, nobody counts on him for any of this anymore, but he still keeps managing to do it.
Don't sell him short. He didn't just throw a shutout. He threw a Maddox.
88 pitches.
Yeah.
That's 88 pitches is pretty incredible. It doesn't really matter who it's against, right? I mean, 88 pitches in a complete game shutouts.
Yep.
Pretty impressive these days when you look up and you see most pitchers, especially young ones who just they go up there and throw their hardest every single pitch, and they've got like 67 pitches in the third inning, and that's what you see so much of these days.
And that gives you a pretty good sense of the even if you weren't watching the game. And this is where we go back to, right? The unimportant stats actually telling the story of the game. Adam Wainwright had 88 pitches. I don't need to see a single video to know that he had impeccable control last night. Not necessarily that he was in the zone on everything, but he was close enough that they were getting themselves out, and he didn't have to waste a lot of pitches.
And he pitched to contact, but shitty contact, right? And that's what
exactly.
That's it. Soft contact.
Pitchers that get Kyle Hendricks has survived on that his entire career, and he's been very good at it. Except today, Carlson, because he's playing the Brewers, and you weren't going to let him win, so he's like pitching to contact. He was pitching to barrel contact.
Oh yeah, big time.
Just get me out of here. Yeah. Right? He was just throwing out meatballs. Get me out of here.
Well, Wainwright had 7 strikeouts.
Kept him in there too. I mean, I think his earned run. He gave up 9 earned run todays after the. Oh God,
9 earned run todays.
That will go in the archive right there, Pete. Go ahead and log that one. That came at 28 minutes and 30 some seconds.
Yep, got it.
Perfect.
Okay, got it. Yeah. So. Thank goodness he is actually on the staff. He has become the stopper, which we counted on him to be like starter number 4 or 5 and just hopefully eat up some innings and keep him in contention. But thankfully he's been around. Looks like some help is coming, but we'll see what kind of condition that help is in. And that's always a scary thing. Other than that, it's, we were able to get back to Busch Stadium on Saturday, me and the boy here. And it was really nice. We had the seats that are kind of mid-level behind home plate. You get a really good view, kind of a similar view to what broadcasters would get. So you get a pretty good view of the field. You can see all the action. It was great being there. Although it was hot as hell. I didn't realize that I positioned our seats where there was no wind. And so we were basically just sitting in a sauna for about 4 hours?
Yeah, it was rough.
It was rough. It was. But it was good to be back to a ballpark, and neither of us have been there since 2019, like many people. But it was great to be back, even though it was against Mike Matheny's Royals.
Which I was really hoping that a Schilt-Matheny showdown was going to happen at the.
He was hoping for a Mike-on-Mike fight.
It was. Some base throwing.
You want to see Schilt take his glasses off and throw a punch with that little arm.
Do you think either of them could? Well, Matheny probably.
Matheny's huge. He's like 6'4".
Matheny's a former catcher. I was just going to say, do you think either one of them could outrun Old Man La Russa?
Absolutely.
Yes. I think, well, I don't know about Schilt, but I definitely think Matheny could take down most people. He's like Chris Carpenter size. I think as far as intimidation, if Mike was actually a mean guy, and I don't think Matheny is, he would scare most people in an alleyway. He's that size of a guy. But Schilt's not going to scare anybody anywhere. In fact, he buys the protection plan on every single Best Buy purchase.
Gabe Kapler would beat everyone, though.
Gabe Kapler would beat everybody, and Hunter Pence would beat everybody just out of pure insanity.
Suicide Squad, baseball edition.
That's right. Yes, Hunter Pence would be a character on Suicide Squad.
Elliot, we were lamenting over the winter how unfair it was that a year after the Cardinals managed to finagle Paul Goldschmidt and then extend him, that they landed Nolan Arenado.
Right.
And how fair life was. And who would have thought that now we would be sitting here, 6 months later, 7 months later, and Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt would basically be the reason that the Cardinals suck, because they can't do anything to change their fortunes. What was that look, Ron? I mean, seriously, they're locked in. They have to keep trying, even though this team is a 500 ball club.
Yes.
They can't do anything because they've got these two highly paid cornerstones.
Yeah, when you make moves,
I'm loving it.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I hate you. You're right. When you make moves like that and you go on record even before either of these acquisitions and you say we're not going to dial it in any year, like we're going to compete. That's our goal, to get to the playoffs and see what happens.
If these two are having a normal year, you guys are a lot closer.
But I would
Milwaukee,
say I wouldn't say Paul Goldschmidt is, but I would say Arenado's been having a year that most would have predicted that he wouldn't have had outside of Coors Field so much, right? That I think he's kind of not 100% debunked this Coors Field thing, but I think he's had a pretty nice year given the fact that he hasn't been able to play 81 games at Coors Field. Now,
right,
when you go on record as an organization and say, "Hey, we're going to compete every year," we're not going to be sellers. We're going to compete. Yeah, you do kind of put yourself in a corner. And when you trade for a guy like, I think the point you were making, Pete, when you trade for a Goldschmidt, when you trade for an Arenado, you are sending a signal that you're in it. Now, this is my own head theory here, and the Cardinals organization could certainly,
a scary place.
It's not fun either. It's like a bad state fair. With a shitty salt and pepper shaker ride. You really put yourself in a corner when you make those kind of statements or comments. But we've also heard John Mozeliak this year say that we're trying to survive 2021. I think, in my head theory, that their sights have been on 2022. It has been. They get a couple bad contracts off the books in Matt Carpenter and Dexter Fowler. We don't know what the future.
Dexter Fowler's off the books, is it? Oh no, you guys.
No, he's not. We're paying him to play golf right now because he's got a torn ACL. Yeah, he can't play. And fish with Mike Trout. That's right, not golf.
That's
fish.
Right.
Yeah, we're still suffering from that FU signing post Cubs Dexter Fowler.
That's okay. We're still suffering with the FU sign, the first one. So
right, the Jason Hayward sign.
And we got another year of that.
No, it's never.
We got two more years of that.
2 years.
Well, it's we laugh about it now and we say, well, we at least win a championship. But like, God damn it, why couldn't they got him for 5? So we'd have been done with this last year. And I really think that their sights are set on 2022. I believe that even before this season started, before the Arenado acquisition, I thought, well, I think it's set on that. I think they've got Paul Goldschmidt locked up post 2020, I think till 2025, if I'm not, or 2024. Arenado's obviously long beyond 2022 if he doesn't opt out, which I don't think he's going to, because he's not going to get paid that anywhere else, I don't think, right now. So I think with the money coming off the books, if they don't, this offseason, if any, and I know if you replayed all the audio from me over the years, I always say, well, this offseason will tell you. Well, this offseason will tell you, every year. I really believe that this one is going to be the telltale sign of what they're willing to do. They can fleece a team on a trade, or at least it seems that way. Now, what they do when they go out and try to rebuild and really make a difference and move the needle, we'll see this year. I think this offseason will be the one that really defines the way forward for John Mozeliak. Is he there or is he not? Because he makes these big trades, but then he stops right after that when there's other needs and there's other stuff he needs to do, and he always stops just short. The bench sucks. The pitching depth was severely tested this year, and you could argue that, boy, I don't know how Jake Odorizzi's done this year. He probably knows, but like a signing like that would have been sure nice, right? And I saw Lance Lynn pitching in this Field of Dreams game. I'm like, shit, that would have been nice this year, and we let him walk a few years ago. So I don't know, man. I think this is the test for that organization. Like, what are they willing to do? Can they reach back and pull a little bit of magic out of what they did in the middle of the 2000s, where they traded for guys that made a difference, or they signed guys that made a difference? Former Cubs like Ryan Theriot and Mark Grudzielanek, world champions like Corey Patterson.
That's right. And Ron, the turd in the proverbial.
Did you see this? What? Yeah, Corey Patterson was a St. Louis Cardinals world champion.
No, I didn't say what.
Oh, I thought you did. Sorry.
My
bad.
What I was going to say is my biggest complaint is when you trade for Arenado and then
didn't do anything.
Mozeliak says we have too much pitching depth, which I didn't understand at all, because I wouldn't say Ponce, Oviedo, and Gant is too much pitching depth. My biggest complaint is when you have Taijuan Walker, which, there was 3 guys, J Happ, which we got anyway.
Oh, yeah, J Happ. He's been an all-star for us.
Jake Odorizzi and Taijuan Walker. And Taijuan Walker was an all-star for the Mets. So my biggest complaint is, how is that too much pitching depth? I don't understand. But, by the way, Jake Odorizzi is having a decent year, but it's better than Gant.
You just want innings eaten up, and that's been the desperate thing, right? Like, you tax the main – and you guys have probably seen the same thing in recent years, that – when your pitching staff cannot get deep, the same guys get tested and overused, for 2 or 3 years. And then we all know the story of middle relievers, right? Like, the lifespan is just ridiculously short. They don't last that long. It's unnatural to throw at that rate in that condensed period of time. And so we've seen it happen over and over again. Yeah, you're right. The pitching depth did get tested, and right now the Cardinals have failed in preparing to handle it. They haven't done a good job. That's been their, inconsistent offense has been a theme for like 4 years now. Even when you add a bat like Paul Goldschmidt or Nolan Arenado, which is just unfathomable that you still can't score runs at a consistent rate.
It's almost like you need to have a lineup, not just a big bopper, so that you can have people on the bases.
Oh, no shit. Are you talking about variety in baseball? No. No, the Twitter crowd hates that shit, man. You got to have 1 through 8 that barrel, hit hard, strike out 45% of the time, but when they do actually make contact randomly, that they hit enough home runs throughout the year where the math adds up and they win more games to make it there. That's what everybody wants.
And that's so much fun to watch, too.
Oh, it is. I love watching half the team strike out and a few of them walk. Or if you got a shitty pitching staff like the Cardinals this year, you walk a shit ton of people. And yeah, that's great baseball. It sells a lot of tickets that way.
Hey, speaking of half the team striking out, Elliot, make an argument for the Cubs to keep Ian Happ.
No, please do. I want to listen. I'll sit back. I'm going to hang up and listen.
We're both going to hang up and listen. Elliot, you have the floor.
It has been absolutely freaking frustrating watching him bat third every freaking night. I don't know if it's because Ross has a boner for him or what, because if you even want to mildly be competitive, you don't put Ian Happ batting third in this lineup. You've got plenty of these other young guys that you can see and watch and try and develop. Honestly, I don't know why he's still on the team. I don't know why he hasn't been Jake Arrieta'd. because he's just been awful. I mean, I understand still having Jason Hayward there, but the Ian Happ experience is done. There is no morale. I mean, this guy is focusing on all of his other shit rather than baseball. And I wouldn't doubt if that's part of the reason why he has struggled this year.
He's got, what is it, 1 or 2 more years of arbitration? I don't understand how you offer him arbitration. I think you got to cut him loose.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't see him being on the team after this season. I think they'd cut him loose, but I don't know why he's
I so hope he is
still batting. I mean, this is like Matt Carpenter for the Cardinals. What, last year or 2 years ago?
No, he batted cleanup. No, Matt Carpenter batted cleanup the other night, you guys. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. It worked out wonderful.
I mean, it's just as bad. Batting him in the top 5 spots in the order is just absolutely asinine.
And Matt Carpenter swung on a 3-0 pitch today. And
especially when you have somebody like Ortega who has been batting like 400 for the last like 6 weeks. Because you always got guys on. You're not getting anybody in. I mean, be mildly competitive.
Yeah, we got a story for
Christ's sake.
And that was in 2017 after Matt Holliday left and signed a free agent contract with the Yankees because the Cardinals let him walk. And we decided to take our leadoff hitter who'd done really well there for like 4 or 5 years. Well, he's been our best hitter. We can just plug him right in the middle of the lineup, right? And it all works. Because he's so great.
Not how it works.
It's not how it works. It's not how it works, and it's been a failure. But I love when he does get a spot start. You usually when you see guys get a spot start from the bench, where do you see him bat typically? If you just had to guess, like a bench player, they get a spot start to give somebody a rest one night.
In the bottom half.
6,
yeah,
7,
it's not with the Cardinals. It's
8.
3rd or 4th. That's what they do. That's what they resort to, and it's just wonderful. Every time I look at a preview of the lineup, I'm like, well, shit, I don't even know if I want to watch this. And it's not to disparage the guy. It's not his fault. It's the fact that they have no bench and they have no lineup that they can trot out there every day. I mean, Paul Goldschmidt is still batting 2nd. I hate that so much, and I know some stat fucker out there will throw it right in my face that your most productive hitter is always number 2. If you look back at OPS, okay, well, Paul Goldschmidt, guys, would you put him at number 2 in your lineup if you had your ideal lineup? Would he ever be there? Like never.
Nope.
And so, but he's number 2 for the Cardinals, and that's where old Schilt has him. So I I hate this lineup. I hate when I see Tommy Edman out in right field. I hate when infielders play in the outfield. That means you've not built your roster to withstand any kind of injury or days off or anything else. It's just horse shit. Braden, do you have a comment on that? Talking about the Cardinals.
I will be really upset if Matt Carpenter or Carlos Martinez are in a Cardinals uniform next year.
He's done with all of them. I am too. And it's not that these guys haven't been good throughout their career. They've certainly served their organization well at certain times, but their time is done, man. Like, but the page has to be turned. But salsa and beard.
You know what? I'm not ashamed of having a salsa t-shirt because I was an epic 2 months. And I got that t-shirt because I knew it was going to be the last time he was ever good.
How did you get that? I didn't get that for you.
Yes, you did.
Oh, shit, I did?
Yes. But I got that shirt because I knew it was the last time Matt Carpenter was ever going to be
Switch
good.
camera.
And I was going to ride that till it died, and it died. But I'm still glad I have that t-shirt. And I'll still wear it.
Well,
but I still hate him.
He still hates him. Yeah. It's a strange time to be a Cardinals fan. You don't know what's going to happen. We're all like, they have to.
You shouldn't have muted me. Did you?
Bless you.
Hey, that's his fault, not mine.
It is.
Hey, that's Elliot's area of expertise.
It is.
Elliot,
how dare you?
You have a can that you need to open. Just give me a head. Give me like a warning or like wave your hands or something if I need to. Take that as a no.
Elliot.
Yo,
I need to know because we really haven't discussed this. Where are you on the spectrum of Cubs fandom? Are you completely despondent? You miss the core? Are you at the other end of the spectrum? Hey, this is a great opportunity. or are you like right smack dab in the middle? This sucks.
I would say that I'm more in the middle of this sucks. I'm more towards that. This is a good opportunity part of this because I am excited about maybe seeing some of these young guys play and develop and to see where Jed is going to take this team. I mean, we talked about this in February. I mean, we said Chris Bryant wasn't going to be on the Cubs come July 30th. I mean, we called that months ahead of time.
Yep.
So we were prepared for that. And, we ran through all of these other scenarios. But there are some young guys coming up through the system that their development is accelerating, like guys like Brennan Davis. I mean, maybe we don't see him this year, but possibly next year, like late next year. And he's a guy that is exciting to me. And then there's some of these guys that were drafted last year that are starting to look good in that lower system that could be getting promotions here sometime in the next month or two. Just to extend their season. So I'm kind of on that part. Not so this is a great opportunity, but also I'm disappointed because we suck and this, trading the core sucked, but I was already mentally prepared for that. So I'm somewhere right in between that other part. So
Braden, you were saying something.
Speaking of the young guys in the minor leagues, I didn't really know this till a couple weeks ago, but I saw a thing that, which, I mean, take it with a grain of salt because it's, it's like low A or rookie ball or single A. I can't remember which one, but some of the guys in the Yu Darvish trade have actually been pretty good in the minors for the Cubs, which, kind of shocks me because I know a lot of Cubs fans were sour with that turn.
Yeah, and we've got one of our international signings is just killing it right now too. His name escapes me, but
are you talking about Christian Hernandez or are you talking about the other one?
Christian Hernandez.
As I say, it either ends in a Z or an A. So
who's the kid that's homered in like 4 straight games?
Alexander Canario. Okay. He's over in South Bend. Elliot, I think
these guys are all tuned in. You're all tuned in. I love how when this kind of thing happens, all of a sudden these fans stop paying attention to the big club and they start watching what happens in the minor leagues, which
absolutely there's more promise in the minor leagues than there is at 1060.
That's exactly
West
right.
Addison.
No, it's exactly right. And that's what I'm pretty sure that's what happens. Imagine being a Pirates fan when you don't have anywhere to look.
Right
now. You're actually looking at soccer.
There was a comment made the other day where it might have been one of the articles on The Athletic where it might have been Sharif Sharma or whatever. He was saying that Sahadev Sharma.
It's fine.
He was saying that.
I knew who you were talking about.
Anyways, he was saying that this will probably be a time where Cubs fans go and they start paying more attention to the minor leagues like they did in 2014 and 2013, 2014, and 2015, where all these draft picks and signings and trades start coming to fruition, and it becomes more exciting for them to watch that than it really is.
Well, Cardinals fans do that every year, and if you just follow Twitter, that's always what the thing is. Like the next guy in the minor league is going to be the best, and he's already better. By the way, that guy in Double A is already better than your major leaguer. Most will declare.
I tell you what, I follow Kyle Reese, and he does a fantastic job.
He's the best,
putting the media out there for these young guys. Like there's some pretty decent ones for the Cubs.
And we'll plug him. I'll plug him right now. I'll plug him right now for you. I mean, he writes up a dirty 35 every year, top 35 prospects in the Cardinals system, and I've read some of the other ones. I mean, we have an athletic subscription. I think our team here does, and I've read the Keith Law stuff, and nothing's more entertaining. I mean, Kyle Reese put together at one point an equivalent to an Arby's menu of the Cardinals prospects, based on their sandwiches and everything else. And it was maybe the most fun read I've had in a long time. But no, he does know his stuff in the minor leagues, and it goes back to guys when people said that they will only listen to major news outlets and not listen to writers, bloggers, podcasters, or whatever. Like I'm telling you, there are more amateurs out there covering the minor leagues that are way better than professionals that cover the minor leagues. I don't believe that dynamic is happening in the major leagues. I think professionals that have access to major leagues cover it better than guys like us can. But there are amateurs out there that cover the minor leagues hordes better than professionals do. Sorry, guys.
I don't know where they get the time, man.
Maybe you don't have kids.
That may be. Or jobs.
Gotta be.
Yes, I know you're here.
Okay, no, this. Okay,
you got offended by that.
That's his point.
No, hold on.
Hold on.
I don't know what you're talking about. First of all, urgent update.
So I was talking about the minor leagues.
Okay, whatever. Okay. Anyway,
breaking news.
Tim Anderson, walk-off 2-run home run. White Sox win Field of Dreams.
Oh,
game.
Wow, look at those fireworks out there.
Because the Yankees got a 4-run ninth inning. Judge and Stanton went back-to-back, and Stanton actually got like.
I tell you what, guys, I was going to save this. Thank you for that update because I'm seeing it right now. I'm out of my peripheral, but I have not watched. I didn't watch the Cardinals White Sox play this year. I didn't catch many of those games, but I didn't realize how just uber talented this White Sox team is. It is pretty incredible, and a lot of those guys are from Latin America. They're all coming up about this roughly, in distance, striking distance of the same age, except Jose Abreu, who's a veteran of the league. But imagine having a guy like that here when all these young Latin American players are coming up. Some Cuban defectors are coming up. Like they all have a common cause here. They're all from roughly the same region. A manager old crusty manager like Tony La Russa standing there in the dugout, but he's managing to glue this thing together. And I tell you what, who no, but you know what?
What back in April when he threw one of his own players under the bus?
Yeah,
and that player's gone.
Yeah, well, of
and
course,
this team is
almost retired.
With the AL.
But Tony La Russa. Here's some credit I'll throw at him. He's one of the managers that, and I'm sure there's been many instructors throughout the minor leagues who've taught themselves Spanish, but he did. So he can communicate with these guys. He might not be able to do all the lingo or the latest language but he's done that. And so he's managed to kind of not piece this team together. They've got a lot of pieces, but he's managed to get them to gel in such a way where you got a manager that had retired, been elected to the Hall of Fame, didn't have anything left to prove as far as being a manager, but he's still doing it. So I got to give the guy some credit here. This is an uber talented team. It is ridiculous. And so I haven't really watched them until tonight. If they get through the American League, they're going to give any National League team that we have to throw at them fits.
Hot take, I don't think the Dodgers win the World Series.
I hope not.
I don't think they will.
So tired of that shit.
I don't think they
will. Out of the West.
I don't think a team.
And I'll say it, it's going to be unbelievable. I'm ready for somebody else to overtake them, and I'm okay if it's San Diego.
I don't think it will be. Not this season.
San Francisco is still...
Maybe San Francisco switched to the odd years.
They still have the... I know it's an odd year, and they shouldn't be doing this. They're supposed to wait till next year.
Right.
But yeah, San Francisco looks... They're interviewing Eloy Jimenez right now, guys. That's got a sting. Just a tick. Just a tick. Pete, you've been on record here saying that's the one you said would hurt the most.
Yeah. I'm in a chat with a couple of White Sox fans, and they always like to rub it in when Jimenez does something great, and all I say is, you're welcome. Or, when Dylan Cease dominates a team.
I'll have to go back and listen to that podcast of the Jose Quintana trade review because I remember listening to that.
It might have been a special edition. We might have rattled that off one night. Yeah.
Your dad was not happy. That's my recollection.
Was that in 2017?
Yeah.
2017.
Yeah. And Ron, you actually broke the news to me, and I think that the text went something along the lines of, "You son of a bitch."
Well, I mean, it's always a risk, right? You deal away a high level prospect, but I tell you what, I didn't catch many Charlotte Knights.
Two high level prospects,
but I didn't catch many Kannapolis or Charlotte Knights games that year when they hit. All of a sudden, the White Sox went from being the boring ass White Sox AAA team to one season they had Jimenez, Moncada. I mean, they had Luis Robert. He's got a bobblehead from game I was at earlier in the year. You went from having a lot of these guys all in the same club one year, and I didn't catch much of it, but that, minor leagues for you.
Yep.
The White Sox have done great with prospect trades. Like
they've done really good.
They got Moncada and Kopech for Chris Sale, which, I mean, Chris Sale has been fine for the Red Sox, but I mean, with the injuries,
really.
he hasn't. I mean, he hasn't been what they wanted. But I mean, it's still Chris Sale. But
the guys, they'll say, "Well, we got a championship out of it," and then 2 years later, like, "Well, fuck, that was nice 2 years ago, but man, it'd be nice to have that guy back."
Yeah,
it really would.
It's not like
We've been saying that a lot lately about a lot of outfielders. How nice would it be to see Adolis Garcia prowling out there in right field, or Randy Rosarina in center field? But no, we've got Project Runway,
which
Harrison Bader.
Which it's actually, the outfield this year has actually been pretty good.
No, defensively, Harrison Bader's been great, and
he killed it last week.
Okay, shut up.
It's been slow.
Pete's gone.
Where
did Pete go?
You got to give credit where credit's due.
He said he had to step away for a few minutes.
We won't dig into that. Maybe later.
But according to one source inside the house, he should have been played of the game last night.
Yeah, of course.
Which isn't true, but
that is not true. We got to get into another topic, and I want Pete to come back to take us out of this one, because he he talked about a really good charity earlier, and people on the live stream couldn't hear it, but at least on the audio recording, people will hear it. But I want him to repeat it again. Elliot, this is not a stranger. We all predicted this would come, but now that it's upon you, like the reality has settled in, it's going to be a couple of years. You know that, right? Like, there's going to be some talented people would promise, but it's going to take time. It's going to take time. It is.
And, and it's crazy because a lot of I listen to, the sports radio guys, and they're just like, hey, they've got a lot of money that they'll be able to spend this next year. They'll be able to go out and, get some key pieces to build around Wilson Contreras if they don't trade Wilson Contreras, because he's got one more year of control before his contract comes up.
He's leaving.
And it is possible that this offseason that they maybe trade him for some additional prospects. But with with our minor league catcher getting hurt, his name's escaping me right now, that it's possible that it alters their plans and they maybe extend Wilson. So, and then they use him to build around, because he has improved his game these last couple years. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do if they take 2022 and just let the prospects develop, and if there's a possibility of bringing in maybe some pitching, because we all know they're not the best at developing pitchers. I mean, they've gotten better, and they've drafted very well. They've drafted some guys that they've neglected to draft these last 6, 7, 8 years, with guys who can throw 96, 97, 98 miles per hour. So now will they come to fruition, and will they develop and become big league pitchers? That's yet to be seen. But at least they've changed the strategy that they've had for the last decade or so.
Yeah, they've never been known for developing that or prioritizing that, right? I think the last run was, get these position players and then, buy pitching.
Yeah, I mean, and you're starting to see some of that, bear fruit, because, whether or not you want to say that Dylan Cease was one of the guys that, they developed because they traded him about a year before he came up to the White Sox. So do you say, well, the Cubs they drafted him and developed him before they traded him over? Or like Kyle Hendricks. Kyle Hendricks was in the Cubs minor league system for 2 years. They traded for him from Texas and developed him for a couple of years before they brought him up. So you could, yeah, you could go either way and say, well, they didn't develop him, but either they did or they didn't. I mean, I feel like they did because he was in the minor league system for a few years before they came up. So,
yeah, no, I totally agree, and that's one thing the Cardinals historically have done. At least they would claim pretty well, right? Where pitching has been a priority. You build winning teams off pitching, and you live or die off pitching. Is Pete back yet? I've got my screens completely filled, but. Elliot, I think one of the things that we talk about is that, you try to build pitching, you try to stockpile some things, and that's all about, insurance, right? Like to make sure that you're covered if bad things happen. And that's certainly one of the things that the Cardinals didn't do so well this year. And that is, preparing for bad things to go happen. You know what? We all want to be covered, and that's why the Wiley Group has 2 locations in Festus and Arnold to serve you. They offer home, auto, boat, motorcycle, business, life insurance, investments, and much more. They can customize a unique approach to your situation to make you, your family, and assets make sure they're all properly protected. They offer great rates, savings. Give them a call today at 636-764-6294 to do an insurance review or just talk sports. If you don't have time to call, feel free to email Sean at SeanWiley@allstate.com. All this stuff is stressful. All of it. Trade deadlines, off season, GM meetings, winter meetings, all this stuff sucks. You know what else sucks, Elliot?
What?
Buying a car.
No, it's terrible.
We all know buying a car can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Fifth Street Motors, located in Pacific, Missouri, will help you find the vehicle, no matter what brand. Fifth Street Motors believe in giving you the best price on a pre-owned vehicle that will fit your budget. Give Brandon or Don a call today at 573-259-1306 and tell them Gateway City Sports sent you.
I feel bad for that guy at the car dealership when I was out here probably 2 years ago when you forgot who you were on the phone with, and this guy started taking you under your wing and trying to sell you a car, and then that guy
the guy on the internet.
And that guy was like, "Oh, I was the guy."
Guy on the internet swooped in,
and then you just completely walked to the other guy, and he was just looking at you like, "God,
like a sad puppy."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why buying a car sucks.
It does suck. Thank you for bringing that up. I'm not sure that really fits in here, but it's fine. Yes, that did happen. He remembers correctly. It was an internet. It was one of those internet things where you plug in your information, they contact you, but when you go in, somebody else, tackles you at the door. Then the other guy comes up and says, "No, that was the guy I was talking to online."
Yeah,
I didn't buy anything, so neither, both lost.
You broke their hearts.
I did break their hearts. Pete is not back yet, so I guess we just go ahead and run this out, Elliot. I've got the exit up. Not really sure I want to read it, but I will.
No Bad Batch?
No, we're not going to discuss the Bad Batch. It's already after.
Yeah. I mean,
we're already getting the late hours. But if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to spread the word, please give a 5-star review and tell your friends to subscribe. We're available on Facebook, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. Also, be sure to check out our other Gateway City Sport Network podcasts, including Derek King Sports Show 2 for 3 with Moose Michaels, Yacker Jacks with Brian Swope, XFL STL, and In the Cards with A-Train Arlington Lane. If you want to contact us, send us an email at the show at teamarivalspodcast.com. You can find Elliot on Twitter at
TOR_Elliot.
You can find me at TOR_Ron.
75.
Pete is not on social media.
I'm going to plug myself for a minute.
Shit. Okay. Yeah. No, go ahead.
I got STL Cards Rant on Instagram if you want Cardinals Instagram updates and just occasional rants when the Cardinals piss me off.
Okay. Which is more frequent.
Yeah, it's not really rare, but this season anyway.
it's kind of
every other game.
You notice
Pretty
here
much.
Pete is gone. That's strange. We'll have to check in on him after the show to see what happened to our friend. But we enjoyed the show tonight. Thank you so much for those of you who joined us on social media. Sorry we didn't get to a lot of the comments, but we remember your names. You're not strangers, and we will be back on next week, same time, same place. We love you all so much. Bye-bye, everyone.
We're